And you just had a big exit, right?
Yeah.
Last year. What was that for? How much?
It was 46.6.
46 million. So when that enters your account, what did you expect would happen? What did happen? And what can you teach other people about what they should expect to happen when they have a big exit?
So I will say that I did not feel the money. I did feel the loss of cash flow. Because I had this, I had measured myself off cash flow since.
Now you don't have any.
Right.
You got a big chunk, but then no money coming in every month.
So I actually felt, and I probably still feel poorer now than I did before the exit.
That's interesting.
Because the cash flow is going down. Now, I know that Acquisition.com is going to be, I think, significantly bigger than those companies were. But in the interim, I definitely did not feel any better after that. I am happy that I did it because I do think I'm in the right vehicle doing what we're doing now, making the books, making the YouTube channels, the Twitters, the social medias, all of them. But the cash flow is what I felt. And because I'd taken dividends my whole life, the amount of money that we got out was pretty much about what we already had anyways.
Right.
So it was not life-changing in any way. It didn't change how I lived at all. Wow. Not at all. We didn't have any big, what are you going to buy? I was like, well, I could,
I'm happy already.
Yeah, I could buy 100 Lambos before the sale. Yes. You know what I mean? That wasn't good. And I never bought them in, and I never did. So because I don't get a lot out of that. What else was different? Losing the team is hard. Yeah. Because when you sell a company, you sell the people. That's something that people don't talk about because it sounds bad. Yeah, but you sell the organism. You
sell the system, the people, the processes, and everything.
100%. And so that was hard because there's definitely times now that we're building Acquisition.com where I'm like, man, I wish I had so and so. Or I already taught this person everything. I have to do it again. So but there's also some level of beauty to it because now that I'm doing Acquisition.com, I have a different appreciation for what I'm doing because every other time that I've started something, it has been from a place of lack. It has been from this is what's going to not make me poor. You know what I mean? The gyms was all about that, and then I lost it all. So the second time was all about that again.
Wow.
So this time I'm starting not like that. And I know what it got before we sold the companies last year. I spent basically 12 months not doing anything because I wasn't required in the business. It ran. And so I had a lot, it was very depressing.
Have a purpose.
Exactly. It was very depressing for me.
What happens if we don't have a purpose?
I mean, you find one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so for me...
But you're in a depressed state, even though I'm sure you were fine, but you were emotionally, mentally what am I doing every day?
Exactly. I have nothing to do.
I go to the gym for so long.
Right.
Can only
go out to dinner. Yeah. I mean, what else are you going to do?
I can eat every meal I want. I can travel. Okay, now what? After 3 months of that, you got to have some mission. You got to have some purpose, right? Even though you have the money, your safety, you have everything.
Yeah.
Security, but it wasn't fulfilling.
100%. And so that was 12 straight months. And it was because we were going through a sales process. So you can't start new initiatives because I'm in the middle of a sale. And you don't want to make any massive new hires. And so you just basically have to just maintain. And the whole time you're wondering, I hope this deal goes through. Because if it doesn't, then you just wasted a year just doing nothing. And then you might have to do it again. So it was it was one of the most emotionally tiring years of my life because it's always this is about to happen. It's not going to happen. The deal's on the table. The deal's off the table. There's all of this drama that's happening constantly. And I also, one of the things that sucked that I didn't like was as soon as I had made the decision to sell, or that I was going to entertain the idea of selling, and this is a mistake I made, everything became about satisfying a fictitious overlord of what will they think about this move? Well, how will they value this? And I started thinking...
they?
Whatever acquirer, whatever private equity was going to buy the company, I'm like, how are they going to see this? Are they going to value this? Or is this a waste? And so what happened was I started making the private equity buyer my customer. And that was a mistake. And so I think that at the end of the day, and what happened was, interestingly, we started the sales process because my wife and I were beat down. We were just very tired of, we've been in gyms for almost 10 years, at that point. Not to say that that's not a good thing, but whatever. We
run its course.
We were ready. But in order for us to sell it and make it a sellable business, we had to fix all the things that were wrong with it, right? And so we took a year before the year. So it took 2 years.
Or
exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So it took 2 years, basically 1 year to like fix everything and then 1 year to sell it. But the thing is, it's just like when you have a house that you like fix up before you get ready to sell it. By the time you're about to sell it, you're like, I love this house.
This is amazing.
I just fixed all the problems I fixed.
Now I've got more cash flow. It's more efficient. You know, we got rid of the toxic people.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was, again, a very like mind trip experience where I'm like, well, maybe I should just hold it as an asset that just produces cash flow.
Yeah.
You know, Uncle Warren never sells anything. Like selling is what makes you rich. Keeping is what makes you wealthy. Like, you know, I'm like, I've got all these kind of things in the back of my mind. But I think ultimately, like, I think no matter what we had done, we would have been fine. But I think for me right now, I think the likelihood that the choice, if I had two alternate realities, which I don't have to play in, I think that the choice will ultimately yield more impact for more people. I would not have the attention to do Acquisition.com and the media stuff that we're doing right now. I wouldn't be here.
Right.
Just straight. I wouldn't.
You'd be focused on your gyms.
Yeah, exactly. On those companies that were in that portfolio. And Acquisition.com would still be a side thing, but it probably wouldn't be the main thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas now it is 100% of my attention, and the companies are killing it, and I feel renewed.